Hi guys, Merhaba arkadaşlar. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Paulette and this is Lifestyle with Paulette, where we talk everything Turkey, everything lifestyle, everything life and positivity. Now, it's such a beautiful, beautiful day to be alive. It's such a beautiful day outside. The sun has come up and I hope wherever you are, you're counting your blessings and you're naming them one by one, because that is the only way that you will remember when you're having dark days, that there will always be light at the end of the tunnel. Today's video is mainly about the scholarships I talked about in my previous video and how to apply for them. Today we are going to focus mainly on the points that will help you in your application and strengthen your application. Let's get right to it. First and foremost, I feel like the YTB scholarship or the Turkish government scholarship is such a beautiful scholarship, or it's such a really good scholarship to be awarded. It has helped so many international students achieve their dreams or come to Turkey. It also gave me the opportunity to come to Turkey, and I really do appreciate that. Now, what people don't usually talk about is the tips that you can have, or is the tips that you can actually follow to increase your chances of getting this scholarship or any other scholarship in general, really, because all these apply to most scholarships. Now, first and foremost, you want to start your application early. I told you last week that the YTB scholarship has a deadline of the 20th of this month, 20th of February. Get applying as soon as possible. This gives you enough time to collect all your data, all your certificates, all your recommendations, and it reduces the pressure that usually comes with applying for any jobs or any scholarships. I hope you have started, and if you haven't, I hope that you start today. There is always time at the end of the day, right? My second choice would be basically, do not ignore the small achievements. I remember applying for this scholarship and I gave out all my certificates from high school and primary school, and I remember going for the interview and they were actually laughing because I gave out all my basketball certificates. They were like, this is the one who played basketball, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I gave out all my certificates that were a proof of my achievements and a proof or anything that I will be able to offer apart from my academics. Do not forget that any single achievement that you have had in your life is actually a really good way to present yourself and to actually let people know that you can offer more than just your academics. Always remember when you're going for the interview, because this scholarship has two parts. It has the application part and then it has the interview part. The interview part is not as gruesome as other scholarships or other interviews I have attended. It's basically just going into a room and sitting in a panel and they ask you a few questions. I think that most of the time they're looking at your character, and that's where you need to shine. You need to be receptive. You need to, show your character and sell yourself. It's a job interview. Even when you go for a job interview, apart from also selling yourself, like one of my friends was telling me yesterday, you also have to show these people that you're more than your books. You're fun to work with, that you will add something into their community. Now for Turkey, for example, one specific question that stood out to me is, why exactly do you want to go to Turkey? Okay, it didn't really stand out to me that much because I expected it. But then, considering that I had applied for medicine in Turkish and not medicine in English, they were a bit curious to learn why I took the opportunity to take it in Turkish and not in English. Now, this was the point where I told them that I really wanted to dive into the culture and dive into the language, because I already spoke English. I wanted to learn a different language, and I saw this as an opportunity to learn a different language, to indulge in a culture, and this made me look like I was receptive. Now, I remember also a really, really bad feeling that I felt when the basketball certificates came up. I got a little bit nervous and I got a little bit derailed because I felt like, these people are just making fun of me, because this for me wasn't actually that serious. It wasn't such a serious interview. They kept talking, and they were they were very easygoing. I felt like some of them were actually looking at my, at my reactions, if I am nervous, how I walked into the room. This reminds me of another point: always be official. Like any other interview, try as much as you can to be officially dressed. Remember, this is not just a scholarship interview, this is an interview. An interview of any sort requires you to be well dressed and well put together. Like I said before, the interview is not as excruciating as you would expect it to be. So once you have gotten through the application process and actually gotten a call for an interview, I think this should make you confident enough, or this should boost your confidence to know that you're actually good for it. So while you're going for that interview, reduce your nervousness, be calm and collected, answer questions that you're asked. If you can, chip in a joke here and there and see how they react, and get through the interview, because at the end of the day, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. So be at ease, be confident, because you have earned the right to be there at that specific moment. You're one in a million. You're one in very few people who have actually been called for this interview. So don't forget that. Now, let's get to the recommendations. In the written scholarship application, you're usually told to write a few of your recommenders. I personally feel like you need a recommender who actually knows you and your strengths. Most people usually go for just any recommender because it's just a recommendation. Most people usually focus on a little more on the essay and less on the recommender. I believe your recommender should be someone who has known you for a while, who has worked with you. If you're in high school, it either is your teacher, a teacher who knows you best, because I think that's what I use. And if you're working, this is someone who your boss, or someone who actually wants you to succeed, someone who can talk about your strengths in the working area, someone who can powerfully recommend you. Now, there is always the option of going with someone who is known or someone who is big in the society, but I usually feel like someone who knows you better, or knows your professional side and your non-professional side, is the best person to recommend you. I also had a recommender from the church. I got my youth leader to actually recommend me, and that recommendation was actually splendid. Sorry, my camera keeps darkening, and so that's why I keep looking. Anyway, yes. When it comes to the writing skills, there are a few essays that the scholarship really needs you to explain yourself with, and I think that is where you shine. In the written application, that is where you shine. Because when you're submitting this written application, as much as you have submitted this certificates, and you have submitted all these good grades, and you have submitted a recommendation, the essay is one thing that gives you the chance to explain yourself in a way that no one else could be able to explain. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to go like, this is an experience that I had, and this is why I want to do this. Or this is an experience that changed me in life, and that is why I yearn for doing something like this. For my essay, I chose to go with the 2007 post-election violence, which was one of those things that affected me and every other Kenyan out there. So I explained to them how this affected me as an individual, and how this affected, the country at large, and what I learned from it. I think and I believe that most people the people who read these applications are actually human beings. These are people who also would want to connect with you at a personal level. Shunning away from personal stories or personal experiences would actually not be an advantage, it would be a disadvantage in this case. So do not shy off from those things that make you unique, those things that make you you, as you apply for a scholarship, or as you apply for this scholarship in particular. My next point will be track your scholarship. Okay, so you have applied and you have submitted it. Now you're on the waiting period. Make sure that you track your scholarship application. For people who have a few emails, or do not have their phones set for emails that come in, there is a very high likelihood that you will miss that email, like I always do miss all the other emails. Now, Make sure that you're tracking your scholarship, because this is such an important stage of your life. This is such an important, move that you have made, and you do not want to miss an interview that maybe will be scheduled 1 week after the scholarship notification has come. My last point is actually for this and every other scholarship. And this is an experience I have with applying for a grant. Now, I realized most of us really undervalue ourselves or underestimate ourselves. You do not know your potential. You have no idea what you can achieve if you actually just have the right mindset. If you want to apply for that scholarship, apply for that scholarship. If you feel like you do not deserve it, let the people who are going to gauge the scholarships decide that. This is not your decision. Your only job in this case is to apply. Get on the application, apply for that. That's what people say now. Apply for that job that you feel like you're not good for. Apply for that position that you feel like you will not get. Keep applying. Do not stop applying. What I mean by this is I once applied for a grant that I thought I would not even get because it was so far-fetched, and luckily enough, getting this grant showed me that there is nothing in life that you cannot do if you put your mind to it. And this is something I will keep reminding you over and over again until it gets right through your head. There is nothing that you cannot do if you put your mind to it. There is nothing under the sun that is impossible with a positive attitude, with you actually pushing. You can reach your goals, man. So get applying for that scholarship that you feel like you are under deserving of. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Now, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so that all this positivity goes somewhere else also, and so that someone else who is in need of these tips for applying for the government scholarship and other scholarships can get all this information. I'll see you in my next video, where we'll be talking a little bit about imposter syndrome and not feeling like you deserve some of these opportunities, and how to actually get over imposter syndrome. Okay guys, bye bye. See you in my next video.